Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven and I love talking about horror movies. I am also super gay. I think I used that intro already. Whatever, it's still true. We have a lot to get through today on this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and just thank my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, you can follow that link in the description. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite queer horror icons. This also includes queer coded horror characters, and this is just like, I guess we can just like take this list with like a little asterisk next to it, because this is like kind of like my favorite queer horror characters so far. If you're following my education videos, there's still tons and tons of horror movies that I need to watch. This list could very well change, but since it's Pride Month, I feel like we gotta talk about this now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with number 10 on my list, which is Jesse Walsh from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Last name Walsh. I didn't actually write that down, and it kind of just came out. I hope I'm correct. I know his first name is Jesse, the character anyway. But I feel like everybody at this point knows about this movie. Like how the gayness was intended as innuendo, as subtext, and it's just literal text. The actor who plays Jesse, Mark Patton, put out a documentary called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sure the poster is probably popping up near my head to confirm that. If you're looking for a horror documentary to watch specifically for Pride Month, you should definitely check that one out. He gets to tell his story about being the focus of attention, being the like face of this movie that now has a cult following, but faced a lot of criticism for how gay it was. Number 9 on my list is May from May. I really like the movie May. I watched it definitely as like a late bloomer, kind of. Like I think I watched it for the first time like maybe like a year or so ago. I had heard it talked about endlessly up until the point where I finally was like, okay, I gotta watch this. But I really related to the character. She very much represents what it feels like to be lonely just in general, but being like lonely maybe because you're queer and maybe like not out, or so I like that the film explored those topics. I felt like I could relate to it a lot. Be an interesting, possibly controversial, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look into this, maybe a future Does This Offend You topic. May could be a potential representation of somebody who falls on like the multi-sexual spectrum somewhere, like whether that be bi, pan, or whatever have you. Obviously, I can't say for sure though, because I don't identify as bi, pan, or multisexual. So maybe some of y'all can sound off in the comments if you're comfortable. But the reason I think that is because in the movie, May, you know, she's meeting all these people, she's befriending these people. She has a couple of romances in the movie, which all end up going sour. And what she ultimately does is goes around and takes like the best parts from all of these people to make like one doll, one friend for herself. That's the only reason why I think that, which is why I want to know in the comments what some of you guys think. Number 8 on my list is Eddie from Hellbent. This movie is so bad, but it is so fun to watch. It's just like all of the camp. But I had to put Eddie on the list because he is so shy and so awkward, and I feel like I can absolutely relate to that most of the time just in general, but especially when it comes to things like flirting. So I really identified with his character in that sense. The movie itself is not great. I just really like his character, and it's just like definitely a fun movie to watch maybe if you're looking for something to have like a watch party with some of your friends. You know, if you want to watch something in particular for Pride Month, I would suggest that one. Don't take it seriously, because just don't. And it just is worth mentioning that Eddie's, like the character's fake eye in the movie is absolutely iconic. Number 7 on my list is Jerry from Fright Night. Jerry, like Jesse in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I feel is very queer coded. I think vampires are used a lot as queer-coded characters. I mean, we can go as far back as Carmilla, who's very like overtly queer. But so much of like the traditional vampire story and things that like vampire characters go through can be relatable to somebody who is part of the LGBTQ plus community. They both have like a kind of like societal outsider kind of feel to them. They have to hide who they are, like for fear of being discovered, and the, you know, the repercussions of that could be quite dangerous if they are discovered. All very queer coded. Not to mention that his friend, his familiar, I don't know, the guy who like lives with Jerry in this house, and like their front is that they like curate antiques or whatever. Try and tell me that's not gay as fuck, Siri. Coming in at number 6 on my list, I feel like this doesn't need any explanation, but it's Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, it's Tim Curry in a corset and fishnets and pumps. Like, I don't think this one needs to be explained. So we'll just move on right to the middle of my list. Coming in at number 5 is Richie from It. I guess I'm just talking about Richie in the 2 newer adaptations of It. I don't know if Richie is meant to be gay in the book or if he's queer coded at all. I've tried to read it a few times and I just simply cannot get through it, so maybe somebody who has read it can let me know. I really like that addition to his character story, even if it's very much just kind of like thrown in right at the end, right when it matters most, right? When somebody that he loves is in mortal danger and dies. And it's just a sweet moment, even if it's maybe like a little ham-fisted or a little forced. Like if we're gonna have a forced like romantic storyline, I would rather it be gay. So moving into the top spots here, number 4 on my list is Mitch from Paranorman. I know this isn't actually like a horror movie, it's just a creepy kids movie, but I really, really love his character. I love Mitch. I remember the first time I saw the movie and I was so pleasantly shocked at the end at just like his offhand comment. It's just such a casual reveal and I love it so much. Like it doesn't need to be like this big to do. Did they need to make him gay? No. But I love it nonetheless, especially because he is very much a jock character, like not like stereotypically gay, which is obviously just like a dumb stereotype. You can look and dress however you want to and still be queer and you're still valid. Coming in at number 3 is definitely one of mine, and I'm sure many queer kids sexual awakening, or at least part of it, and that is Jennifer and Needy from Jennifer's Body. No one explicitly like confirms that Jennifer or Needy is gay in any way, but I feel like it's hinted at throughout the movie. Like the tension between these 2 characters is just absolutely, it's tangible. It is so tangible. And it's not just like the iconic lines like when Jennifer says I go both ways, or the makeout scene. But there's points in the movie where like Needy and Jennifer talk about how they used to play boyfriend and girlfriend when they were little kids growing up. And one of their classmates even accuses Needy of being lesbi gay for Jennifer. It kind of hints at like all of their classmates just kind of like can see what is there even if they aren't admitting it. I feel like that's all part of the tension between them, and I'm so here for it. Number 2 on my list is the entire main cast of The Covenant. That movie is queer as fuck and nobody can tell me any different. The locker room scenes alone, come on. Cannot deny the sexual tension between Sebastian Stan and Stephen Straight's character in the movie, Chase and Caleb. Like, again, like with Jennifer and Needy, I feel like it's just palpable. Like you're just waiting for them to kiss. And like when they do have like that little kiss moment, you're kind of like, it's just like a breath. You're like, oh my God, I feel like we were just building up to this the entire time. And the fans of this movie, like when this came out, definitely picked up on those vibes, because I remember, I'm just gonna go ahead and admit that I read so much fan fiction for this movie, and almost 100% of it was either like a Chase and Caleb fanfic, or two of the minor characters, Reed and Tyler. I honestly think they're kind of like misogynistic macho behavior in the movie is just a front. I feel like they're overcompensating to kind of like cover up the fact that they're not all straight. The only one you could probably convince me is straight in the movie is Pogue. And finally, coming in at number 1, I feel like maybe you guys might be a little bit disappointed in this one, but it's the Babadook. Why? The only reason it's in the number 1 spot is because this like creepy AF demon kind of accidentally, kind of just by chance and by the magic of the internet became a queer icon. It kind of, I feel like it just started off as kind of like a silly discourse about like this very scary creature just being like a gay man in a top hat just trying to live his best life in the Australian suburbs. And the internet did what the internet does best and just like ran it like not just to the finish line but like way beyond. And then of course the thing that like really solidified it was a picture on the internet, which I can't find anything on the internet that says if this was real or not, but there was a picture going around of the Babadook being in the LGBTQ section of Netflix. I don't know if that was like real, if that was like a mistake on Netflix's part and somebody just happened to catch it before they fixed it, or just some really clever Photoshop. Now the Babadook is a queer icon and it's so funny to me. There you go. Those are my favorite queer and queer-coded horror characters so far. Of course, let me know who yours are in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post 2 new videos a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so I'll see you this weekend with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye!